Got
Got it.
slow, but I think it's getting us in there.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Okay,
like it's going.
we're in. Yay. Oh my goodness, I have a big glare. I'll take these off. I can see without them.
Yeah, I had mine on too, so I've got like a little red line from wearing them.
I'm sure I do too. I can't see myself. Yep, I do. Oh, I have a bad cold sore right now, bothering me.
So annoying. Yeah.
Okay, let me open up the chat. Hello, Rec Cars. Hi, people. As you filter in, let us know if our volume is equal.
Yes. We can both be louder or quieter. I have a real
Yes.
microphone today for a
She has
change.
a microphone. It sounds
How
good.
ASMR of me.
Very. I saw your Instagram short. I loved that trigger. Are you gonna do it in a
Thank you. Isn't
video?
it? Yeah, I will. Isn't
I
it?
liked it a
It's like a
lot.
postcard that I got, and it's such a cute postcard.
Oh, it's very cute. I liked
And it's
it.
got, yeah, with all these different flowers, and it says like the names of the flowers as well. They're
I thought
wildflowers
it
that grow in
did.
the UK. Yeah,
That's such a nice postcard. It was funny because at first I was like, does she actually know what all of these are? Is Liza like a botanist? But then
that
I
would be
saw that they
so
were there.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
the names are like written like pretty small.
So funny. All right. Sorry. I'm trying to get my windows set up so that I can see everything at once.
I get you.
I hate doing it on my laptop, but it's just too hot upstairs. Okay. How's the volume, guys? Do we sound pretty equal? So far, nobody said anything, so I think it's probably okay, but let us know. So this month, we are discussing A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book in the series by the same name, by Sarah J. Maas or Mass. I think I say Mass, but that's probably wrong. I have read it. I've read it twice. This will be Eliza's first time, I think. So just like first off, what did you think, Eliza? Like overall impression, like or dislike?
Overall, like I
Overall,
liked.
like okay.
It actually took me a while to get into. Sorry, I'm moving my mic around. Okay.
It is a little slow
Um,
at first. Yeah.
yeah, and I found it kind of annoying and cringy. Like Feyre, like okay, the thing that annoys me the most was like the dynamics between her and her sisters,
Oh
because
yeah.
I was just like, why are her sisters being so ungrateful? Why
Mm-hmm.
does she do this for them when they don't get anything back? And then I know that there's the whole like she made a promise to her mum on the
Who also
deathbed,
seems to
but
have been awful. Like,
yeah, and so that whole thing annoyed me. Just like Feyre being like the only one, like the only girl who knows how to hunt and blah blah blah. And I was like, that
mm-hmm.
just so like all the beginning bits with their sister. Once like we left the sisters, then I was like, okay, I can get into this. But the beginning bit,
I it's kind of funny because like her sisters really annoy me and we're kind of like really supposed to dislike Nesta at first because she's the really awful one, but Elaine to me
I
seems just as
also
bad. Elaine seems useless.
yeah, exactly. Just because Nesta is like loud, like speaks her mind more, but
Yeah.
they're both the same.
Yeah, I mean, Elaine maybe is sweet, but she's a lazy, useless person too.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
exactly.
understand why we're supposed to be pro Elaine. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that was like the thing that initially like I was like, oh, I actually don't know if I can keep reading this because this is gonna really annoy me. And
so
then the
funny.
sisters went away, and I was like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I did really get into it, and it was a page turner for sure. Like I read it pretty
Yeah.
compulsively.
I once I got into it, I was into it. Like I
Yeah.
got hooked and I've only read the first and the second one actually. I've read both of them twice
Ooh.
and I still haven't moved on to the third one. I'm not ready. I don't know why. I maybe
uh,
it's time,
you
I
don't want
think.
it. Yeah. Ooh, exciting. I'm really
Mhm.
excited to read the second one. I haven't read the second one yet.
The second one to me, like first one, the second one is
I've
so
heard
good.
I also heard that like if this helps you start the third one, I've heard that like the end, I don't know how many books there are, but someone told me that the last 2 books are the best.
So I'm not sure
Oh
if
wait,
it's
I'm
this
sure
series or Throne of Glass, because the last two in this one,
I
it
think
starts a
this is
different
it.
story.
Oh, okay. So I think it's a Court of Thorn and Roses, a Court of Mist and Fury, a Court of Wings and Ruin, a Court of Frost and Starlight, a Court of Silver Flames.
So Wings and Ruin is the one I haven't started yet. So I'm excited. JJ says that one's the best. I'm very excited because
Ooh.
I've heard the second one is the best. So I'm a little bit afraid to,
Okay.
but yeah, I won't tell you like anything that's going to spoil. I'm going to keep it very spoiler free as I would appreciate
Oh yeah.
everybody else to do. But the
I thought you were talking
first,
about book club for a second. I was like, oh, Vader,
oh no, no, no,
no.
no, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we just for this particular book, we are only sticking with the first in the series. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'll cry if you guys like ruin it for me. I'll cry. Don't ruin it for
Yeah, no, don't worry.
me.
Yeah, I am excited for the second one because I like low-key hate Tamlin already. So yeah, also, oh yeah, I did so sorry. I when they like introduced Rhysand, how do we pronounce it in our heads?
Rhysand. I pronounced it
Rhysand.
Rhysand in my head.
I pronounce it Rhysand in my head, but Rhys for short. So
Oh, that's cute. I thought it was
yeah.
Rhysand and Rice for short, or Riz. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure, but I listened to the audiobook and it's like Rhysand Reese.
Oh yeah, okay, Rhysand. When she introduced Rhysand, I was like, what are we doing? Introducing another romantic lead so late in the book?
I know. I
Very
loved it.
naughty.
I loved that. It was amazing. Like, because I wasn't vibing with Tamlin either. I'm like, he's all right. But
Yeah,
I
he's
just
all
don't,
right.
there's
He's a
no
bit
electricity.
boring.
He's boring. He's
No.
boring.
And he only really loves her because she's going to break the curse.
Right? But then
And
Rhysand shows up, and who is this mysterious, handsome stranger?
and he's such a bad boy.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's like a bad boy, but also like for good, you know?
Right. He's got a good heart in there.
Uh-huh.
That's how I like
And
all of my main male characters. Morally gray. Well,
yeah,
I don't know. I
but
don't even know if I'd call him morally gray. Yeah.
I think that he's oh, what is it on like the alignment scale? Like un mm, like unlawful but good. Is that
Oh,
it? Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. I think you're right. I feel like Feyre's like chaotic good. She's just hopping all
Is
over the
she
place,
good
just doing
though?
crazy. I actually love
Feyre,
Feyre. I love her.
I'm so over Feyre. Feyre is so dumb. The riddle was so easy. I'm sorry. The riddle was so easy, and the
Oh,
fact that she didn't get it was just another thing. I'm like, why? There's no way that Feyre, this like dumb girl, is gonna save the entire fairy realm
right.
just because
It's
she's remotely good at hunting. I also refuse to believe she's like the best at hunting.
right. I mean, she's probably okay. I mean, she kept her family alive,
Yeah.
but they were starving, so she's not that good at
She's
hunting.
not that good. And she hasn't been doing it for that long. Like, I know,
No,
she's still in the young. And she's mainly catching like rabbits and stuff. She's not even really hunting. She's like just like laying traps and stuff.
right. And in the same vein, Andy says in the comments she can't read. She's illiterate.
Which isn't her fault.
It's not at all.
But
Well, her family really dropped the ball there though, because they're all literate and they're like, yeah, Feyre.
yeah. And also she's too stubborn to let Tamlin teach her to read.
Mm-hmm.
I do
She's
love
stubborn.
that end of my copy has like, a little preview of the next book. And This isn't a spoiler. I think it's fine. But it
I
just
think
I
it's
don't know
alright.
if everyone's book has this. Anyway, but just like the one of the chapters from the next book, and it's Rhysand teaching her to read and write, and so
I
she doesn't
know.
want Tamlin to teach her, but she wants Rhys to teach her.
She doesn't. but I'll leave it at that.
She's not gonna learn. Like, but why can't she just? If she knows that she's gonna be trapped in this fairyland forever, like when she first arrives with Tamlin, and she's like, "What am I gonna do with my life?" Like, you would think, "Oh, I would learn that massive like life skill that I'm missing."
Yeah. Maybe
You would
it's
learn
just,
all the life skills.
I guess maybe she didn't think it was such a big deal at first because she'd never had books. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, what would I do if I were trapped in the fairyland? Sorry, I'm moving my stuff around. Okay, and I was like, well, obviously I'll just go to the library and read a bunch of books. And then I found out she couldn't read, and then I was like, well, that's great. That's like a whole activity
She can spend
that will
years.
go months and months, years learning to read and then reading. It'll be great. But she's like, no, I don't want you to teach me.
She's such a
I'm
brat.
good
She's so
at other
stubborn.
stuff. Like, what are you good at, Feyre? I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm just really
like
mean to
she's good at getting fairies to like fall for her.
Also,
I want that
another reason
skill.
why Tamlin's a dick. Tamlin's just sending his friends off to the human realm to get murdered by humans until one of them loves Tamlin.
They had to. They
I know
they
she
knew
had
they
to,
had to
but
make the sacrifice. They had to.
oh, another thing which really, really angered me, the the swearing, being like, by the cauldron.
Oh,
Cauldron B. Oh,
cauldron boil
that
me.
oh no, that made me so angry.
It didn't bother me. It didn't. I was just like, this is the dialect of the world.
Oh no, I hated it. I was
You
like,
know,
cauldron?
the
Cauldron is so
cauldron.
bad.
The cauldron. At first, I was like, why do they even say that? But I guess I don't know.
I guess it's because they
It
don't
is a
have
little.
gods, so they want to say like, oh, by the gods, but they don't have gods. So but just say other stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't.
So I can't. I have some. Did you know? Did you know that this is supposed to be like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, kind of?
Only when I
I didn't
was doing
realize
this on
that.
Goodreads. Yeah, only when I was ranking this on Goodreads, then I saw some other reviews said that, which does make no, actually it doesn't make sense because Tamlin's meant to be like sexy anyway. Like I know he's wearing the mask, so I guess the like taking the mask off is the
Yeah, it's like his.
like she's saving, yeah, like she's breaking the curse, and the curse is that he's got the
I see
mask
it.
on. But it's like a pretty mask. It's not that
Right. And
bad.
through the whole thing, she's like, oh, I wish I could see his face. I'm like, is it really obscuring his face that much? Because I've seen masquerade masks and
Yeah.
it's not
You
that
can
big
see
a
his eyes. You can
disguise.
see most of his face. Like, sorry, you can't see his forehead and his eyebrows.
Could be a deal breaker. Could be.
I mean, it could be. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be a good plot twist. He takes off his mask and she's like,
oh, where's the brown haired guy?
Put the mask back on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, our ASM architect says in it too, the time running out and the rose or the curse. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like her being kidnapped and kept in his enchanted house. Yeah, it is very Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. It is Beauty and the Beast, but kind of without the beast. Really.
Yeah, it's its own story for sure.
Yeah.
Goes beyond.
Yeah, I also sorry, another thing that annoyed me. I'm only saying things that have annoyed me so far. Another thing that annoyed me was I feel like at some point, like right at the end of the book, then they like introduce like the thorn. So it's called A Court of Thorns and Roses. Where are the thorns and the roses? She says like one time at the end of the book, like one of them says, "I love you, thorns and all." But it didn't make sense because they hadn't mentioned the thorns any other like throughout the story.
I
I
kind of
just felt
thought
like
it
that
was
was
like a
a
metaphor.
yeah, but I feel like they missed a trick there because like thorns and roses are very fairy tale-y, and now I know
Hmm.
that about the Beauty and the Beast thing. There could have been some more intertextuality there that Sarah J. Maas missed,
Alyssa, I
in
think
my professional opinion.
that's a very, very good observation. I think, yeah,
There
I
could have been
agree.
more about the so-called thorns.
I mean, I think Feyre is the thorns. Partially,
I thought
Feyre
that
is so
thorny because
Feyre is
she's
thorny.
so angry.
Yeah, Feyre is very thorny because she's very angry
Yeah.
from her childhood and being made to hunt and starve and these evil fairies.
Yeah.
It's funny because they're like terrified of the fairies because of their history, but we don't see the fairies do like, but they don't seem to ever come into contact with fairies for hundreds of years at this point, right?
Yeah, no. So I guess that some of like the bad fairies
Oh, they do go
have
in.
been like in like but I think that's like in recent years or like in the
I
last
see.
70, is it in the last 70 years? When like the evil woman, what's
Yeah,
her
when
name?
Amarantha.
Yeah, Amarantha. While Amarantha's been in charge, then I think that like some of the bad fairies have been going across. And
Okay,
I
yeah,
guess
that makes
maybe
sense. Yeah,
before that, then there were just like the odd rogue bad fairy who would like go and, rumors would spread.
that makes sense. Yeah.
But
Um,
yeah,
where do you think the children of the blessed ended up? The ones who went up above the wall. Do you think they're still there? Do you think they died?
hmm, I guess they probably became playthings for some bad fairies.
Maybe. Maybe we'll see them in
Or
later books.
maybe they got chomped, they got eaten
Very
by
possible.
some other bad fairies.
Um, there's
Yeah,
another.
there's also a lot. Okay, I also didn't love the classism
Oh yeah, no. Mm-mm.
and
Well,
the
yeah,
the monarchy.
that becomes a theme. So
Okay,
I
okay,
won't say
cool.
anything else, but
Cool.
that's actually something that will be addressed a little bit.
Lovely. Okay, nice.
But yeah, it's very much like discriminatory with lesser fairies and
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly. They're literally called lesser
lesser
fairies.
fairies. Yeah. Oh, I had a cat that wants lap times.
Okay, well that's great. If that becomes a thing that's addressed, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
it becomes kind of a thing.
Okay, cool.
Um, but yeah, it's the class thing and it's very intentional, but
Yeah. Yeah,
um
but Feyre doesn't question that at all. Like, or Feyre, I don't know. Well, so far, I don't
I
think that
she
Feyre
doesn't
has
yet. No. She
has
Feyre,
acknowledged.
I think it's hard because I'm thinking of Feyre as she like grows a little bit. I'll scale back. I think Feyre is like too traumatized to think of anything beyond her own immediate
Yeah,
self.
fair. Yeah, fair. But it just frustrated me that like she, because obviously she's really poor, and then she goes to this like house of opulence, and she's saying like how, oh, it's so unfair that we're so poor, and then these people live in such opulence. And I'm like, you're literally saying that as a servant is brushing your hair. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why aren't you capable of
Right? That's a thing. Like she doesn't have a problem with
transferable
letting
skills?
Alice take care of her every day
Yeah,
and but she
yeah.
feels useless and she wants to help and okay.
She's such a savior. She's got such a savior complex. Like she's the savior of her family. She's saved the whole fairy kingdom now. So
She
there's
did
no way
though.
that her ego is getting reeled in.
Mm, that's my girl. That's my girl you're talking about. What did you think about the Suriel and her capture of the Suriel? Because I thought that was kind of silly.
Yeah, that was silly. Also, what was the other guy's name? Lucian?
Yes.
Like, everyone's just underestimating how dumb and weak humans are, and including Feyre. I didn't think it was a bad idea to trap the Suriel.
I thought it was a fine idea. It just seemed like it was
Yeah,
too easy. I'm actually most not okay with how easy it was for her.
she literally just like left a dead chicken in the woods.
And a snare. And like a fairy couldn't do that. They act like even the Lucian's terrified of the Suriel. I don't get it. I don't get that because the Suriel seems like a nice person.
Yeah. Yeah, also, the Suriel seemed nice. The Suriel was chill. So
Yeah,
either maybe that Suriel was just very friendly. Because, yeah, why were the other ones scared of the Suriel?
I don't get it. And he has this like haggard old cloak. Like, why is this guy not taken care of? This poor
Oh,
thing.
yeah, yeah. No, I felt very bad for him because,
Mhm.
like, they're saying, like, oh, all he wants is, like, a dead chicken. Why is he, like, so starving hungry that this is
Right?
what it wants? And then Alice, I think, said that, like, oh, Lucian's so silly. Like, all it actually wants is a new robe. And I was like, well, then why don't you give it a new robe?
Right?
It's so
It would have been so
mean.
like, and then why?
The poverty in this land
Yeah.
is
Oh,
like the
yeah.
wealth inequality.
I will just say you need to like immediately start book two. That's all I have to
Yeah.
say. Because
Okay.
this
I
gets
will.
brought up pretty quickly, actually.
Good. Okay. Oh, I'm excited for book two.
Yeah. But yeah, I want more surreal content because I don't
So
understand.
interesting. They can tell you like they can answer every question that you answer.
Right? And
Why don't you just make friends with one?
hey, it
Buy
seems
a
like it
nice
would be easy.
cloak. Just bring it around. Just invite it around for dinner.
That seems like it's all it takes. This person was willing to like chum up with her right away and like couldn't
Yeah.
defend itself at all. I don't
That's so sad that she trapped it in a snare. I
I
felt so
know.
bad for it.
Poor
I
little
also had a
thing.
hard time like picturing that because I was imagining it
It's just on its
like
like
in
ankle.
cartoons. Yeah.
Oh, you
Like
pictured it up in a that's
no, yeah, I
funny.
imagined it like being pictured being like strung up in a tree upside down.
That's
Um
probably it, right? It's gotta be.
yeah, and then I was surprised it wasn't more angry because that would make me so angry. If you were just walking through the woods, you're walking through the woods, you see a nice dead chicken, you're like, ooh, snack for later. And then you go get it, and then you're like strung upside down by your legs just because some
Oh, it's
human girl
awful.
is curious and she can't. Also, she was not like listening or taking in any information. And
Mhm.
I was like, why are you not trying to figure it out? And she
Mhm.
just didn't care. She was eavesdropping on all of these conversations and then just like, oh, la di da di da, I don't need to like think about that anymore.
Right? I guess it's because she thinks she has no power for
Yeah, I think she's self-obsessed.
I mean, yeah, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit.
Oh, just for yeah, like at there were times there where she was very self-obsessed.
Who was your favorite character?
Um,
And I'll ask the chat
they were
that as
all
well.
bad. My
Liza didn't like anyone, and this is just for book one. So I can't even think of who my
um,
favorite would be. I guess Feyre. Honestly, I like Feyre.
I guess Feyre as well, which doesn't say
Everyone
that
else,
much.
she hated everyone. A lot of
No, I
people
mean, who
like
are the other
Lucian, but
characters? I thought Lucian was such a wet wipe.
yeah, I thought Lucian was kind of
Like,
boring. He was just a
yeah,
jerk.
yeah. No, oh yeah, actually, like sometimes I did like Lucian. I
Mm,
did like Lucian a bit. It just I liked Lucian throughout, apart from like at the end when she's doing her challenges and stuff.
oh yeah.
And Lucian lets her down, you know? That
I
was
mean,
when I started,
everybody let her down. My
apart
God,
from
Tamlin didn't do
Reese.
shh.
Oh my
Reese.
god, Tamlin just sitting there with a like straight face while
I
Feyre is
know.
getting tortured and
Hmm.
teased.
And he think like because he
And
thought
then
any reaction would make it like it would show Amarantha what was the worst for him. Like, it would be just easy to be like, give her some acknowledgement, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Fuck
all.
Amarantha. Like, who cares about her feelings? But Feyre has feelings too. Yeah, I didn't like that. And I didn't like that the one time, like, you know, he like manages to talk to her and then just like kisses her and is like, oh, blah, 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 love you. I'm
Right.
like, why don't you actually have a conversation with her? Ask her how she is, heal her wounds. I don't know, just do something like nice. Buy her
Rhysand did not
flowers.
appreciate that. Rhysand was pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
He
I
would
mean, Rhysand is
never.
also so problematic, making her like getting her drunk on fairy wine and making her lap dance for him.
Yeah, it's a little bit. But still, I mean, we're not Team Tamlin, right? You can't be Team Tamlin. Oh, ASM Architect says that as I say that, we have a comment in the chat. Rhys was very
Team
interesting, but I
Tamlin.
like Tam. Okay, so I'm gonna ask the chat. I'm gonna ask.
I liked Tamlin at the beginning when he was like trying to flirt with her but didn't know how.
I
And he
know, it
was
was kind of
like,
cute.
you look clean. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Oh, why can I not see the chat in the chat? Oh, never mind, I can see it now.
Okay. I think I put a
Yeah.
question in. Or do we like Tamlin or Rhysand? We team Tamlin? Are we giving him another chance after letting her down?
Yeah,
Or are we team Rhysand, who is a little bit of questionable actions? We're not sure.
But I mean, Tamlin also questionable actions when he's drunk on the fairy magic.
Calamai. Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, that was Feyre's own fault. He told her not to come to the right. He told her.
And then he like also then she like understands what it's about and Lucian's don't leave your room for the entire night.
Mm-hmm.
And then like an hour later, she's like, it's probably fine now. I'm just gonna go get a snack.
Probably fine now.
Yeah. I'm not gonna victim blame, but
so they're making a show, an ACOTAR show. Hulu is doing it. I think they should cast you as Feyre. I think you'd be the person. I think it's probably fine. I'll just check it out.
It's probably fine. I just want a snack, you know. Sorry,
I can watch really the cringe. I'll watch the whole series, I swear. So we are 50-50 Tamlin Rhysand. 50-50. All right.
No way.
We got to see what happens.
Oh, sorry. I'm just reading back in the chat. JH says the children of the blessed were used as messengers by the High Fae and were hunted down by Amarantha.
Thank you. I totally forgot that. And I've read it twice now. He had to be stoic in the last part to save her. So yeah, Tamlin did maintain the strength and the stoicism.
But like, how did that save her? Like, if that had a purpose, then I would be open to it. But I don't understand how that saved her at all. I don't understand how that helped her at all. Because I don't think Amarantha showed mercy on her because she was like, oh, it's not hurting Tamlin that much. I guess I won't hurt her. No, she still tortured her just the same.
Yeah, I don't think anything would have been.
Yeah, and at least if Tamlin had shown emotion, then it might have like given Feyre strength or given Feyre like hope, you know? Because he seemed very like defeated. So then I was like, what? I was like, Feyre, why are you trying when Tamlin's not even trying?
I know. She's the only one fighting for everyone else is like, well, I guess we'll just give up and live under the mountain forever. Like,
I was like, no, that sounds horrible. You'll never see the sunshine.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't like that. What is Rhysand part of the Night Court?
Yes.
Cool. Also, a week every month for the rest of her life is such a long time.
I know, right?
That's such a long time.
Also, Resand, I think, do we know who Resand is, right? In this one? Like you said the Night Court,
I
but he's something particular
I
in the Night Court. We know that already, I
think
think.
that he's an important person in the Night Court. I can't remember what the is. He like a high? Is he's like
He's
a
a
high
High Lord.
fae?
He's High Lord.
Yeah, he's a high lord. He's a high lord.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think we knew that. I think we know that already.
We
So I
do.
don't.
We knew that. We
Okay.
knew that. Um. Yeah. Yeah.
But
JH says, which I think is really true. Actually, I think that Rhysand is just like more of a is more developed than Tamlin. He has more depth.
yeah,
He's more of an interesting character. Like he's more intriguing. It was.
right.
It was. He has more depth.
I agree. And I don't know. There's something about him. I don't know what it is. I just like him.
Yeah.
I just like him.
Yeah.
You gotta like him, you know?
I like him.
It doesn't help that he's like supposed to be very handsome. You know, I mean, it doesn't hurt that he's
Oh
supposed to be
yeah,
very
I
handsome, you
definitely
know?
noticed that. She said that he was the
Oh,
most handsome man
immediately.
she's ever seen, and
Yeah.
that was after she'd already seen Tamlin. So
I know.
I know he's got a mask,
But come on, you can tell. You can tell.
you can see.
Mm. Yeah,
I
we
have
have
a
confirmed
question.
High Lord of the Night Court.
Yeah.
Oh, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah.
No, just when did you read this for the first time? And what like did you notice what were the differences rewatching it or not
Rereading.
rereading it?
I think I read it for the first time like a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. Not
So
that
not
long ago.
super long ago, no. And it's kind of hard to say because the second time I read it, I listened to it as graphic audio. So I
Oh.
actually need to like reread the book itself because I think going back, there were definitely characters that I paid a lot more attention to the first time around because they became important later on.
Yeah.
So that's something like, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't realize, because I think this book became popular in the last few years, but it's not that recent. It's like 6 or 7 years old
right?
or something.
Yeah, it's not well because she's written the whole series, so it's got to be old, the first
Yeah.
one. I don't know how old the most recent is, but even that, I don't think the paperback was out last
No.
summer, so it's new.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's like it's been really popular on TikTok, hasn't it?
Yeah. Are you what other courts are you interested in? Because like I really at this point was so interested in what the Night Court was like. Like
Yeah.
especially if Under the Mountain is modeled after the Night Court. It's like, what you doing over there,
that's
Reese?
spooky. Yeah. Yeah, I want to go to all of the courts,
Yeah.
and I think that all the courts should like hang out more. Because if it's always winter in your court, you're gonna be wanting to go on holiday to the summer court.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa as well. So I think they should
Right.
just like have a little like come dine with me. Like like four in a bed, you know? Where they no, this is a really English, of course you don't know it. It's like a daytime British TV show where like this is so silly where like four owners of like bed and breakfasts stay in each other's like bed and breakfast and then they rate
cute.
each other. And I think
cute.
I think that the courts should do that.
I agree.
So they like take it in turns to like say each other's courts, and then they can like make it into a little competition. They can get voted for like best food, best entertainment.
I think that sounds great.
And then the winner can have a party. I don't know.
I think the party's the necessary part.
Yeah.
ASM Architect says, did you think the sisters redeemed themselves at all later on? That's a great question.
That's a great question. And it brings to mind another point about the glamour thing. I don't think that the sisters, I think that Nesta redeemed herself. Elaine didn't redeem herself. Elaine's just, Elaine didn't redeem herself. Elaine's just there. Like, she's just there. I thought it was interesting that Nesta didn't see the glamour.
Right?
And I don't know if it has annoyed me, because I feel like it's very convenient that she didn't get glamorized. And I don't think that she has that strong of a, like,
Right. Her
you
mind
just
is
need
so
a strong
strong.
mind.
Come on.
But she can't have the strongest mind in the planet. And if fairies fairies would know that their glamour doesn't always work, and you would, I don't know, double check or something.
Right.
So unless there's more of a reason for that, then I didn't like that.
I agree with that. I'm not okay with her just being like Superwoman for no discernible reason. It doesn't make sense.
Just because
I
she's like
agree.
bitchy, then she's got a strong mind. Like, that's
Right.
not true.
Mm-mm. And then to say, I like ASM Architect's comment in the chat, but Elaine is so sweet. Where do
Yeah,
we
she
actually
is.
see her being like doing things? Like,
Yes. She's just like kind of nice, but she doesn't actually have any, like, she doesn't give any value. She doesn't help Feyre. She actually just
no,
makes life harder for Feyre.
right?
And then yeah, she's like sweet when they're rich and she's like growing things in the garden.
Right.
But that's because she's got no troubles.
I know it's easy to be sweet when nobody's depending on you, nobody expects anything of you, and everyone thinks you're an angel. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
I feel like she has some magic power because she's like, everybody's like, Elaine.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
And I also don't understand why Nesta likes Elaine.
Right? And Nesta like loves Elaine, and it's why? Why is
That
Elaine so much less annoying
doesn't
than
seem in
Feyre?
line with Nesta's character.
No, no,
If I were Nesta, then I would find Elaine really annoying.
right? It's like, what? You're useless. You're wasteful. Like, you're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Was it Elaine who like couldn't even go chop firewood at the beginning of the
Yeah.
book? That's not nice.
Nesta had to do it. Elaine can't do anything. I don't understand why Elaine can't chop firewood. I don't
It's not
understand
that
why
hard.
neither of them can go out there and hunt with Feyre, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's because they didn't make a promise to their dying mother. But that's
Right.
not really how things work. Like,
No.
if your sister made a promise that she would, like, if your sister promised that she would look after you, then you wouldn't be like, all right, I guess I'll put my feet up then for the
Right.
rest of my life.
And I don't know if it's because they spent more time living rich than Feyre did, because she's a little younger and they lost
Yeah.
their fortune and stuff. So I think that's the explanation
Which
of
is
it. That
another
she,
reason.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, exactly. That is true. But that's also another reason why it doesn't make sense that she's the one looking after the family. She's the youngest. She's
Right.
not the eldest.
Yeah.
Also shitty of the mum to put that on her.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't depend on your husband to do any of this. He can't take care of the family.
Yeah,
We didn't even talk about the
literally.
dad. What's going on with it?
The dad. Oh my god.
Father
Hate
Archeron.
him.
Yeah.
Hate him so much. He's just a bad person.
Yeah. He just seems so disconnected from reality.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, and like straight away when she saw that fairy that like took the fairy that appeared like her father to like rescue her, as soon as that, I was like, obviously that's not him.
No, because it's like,
Obviously that's
your
not him.
father's not coming for you. He
Your
wouldn't come
father's
for
not
you.
coming for you.
He couldn't get there, but he wouldn't anyway, Like,
Yeah.
it's
He
sad.
wouldn't even go hunting.
No.
Let alone going into the fairyland for you, little Feyre. Yeah, and I also didn't even like, because he said, like he told her to go. And he said when what's his name? Tamlin came to get her and was like, oh, you can come live in the fairy realm with me. And then the dad was like, go live your life in the fairy realm. I was like, what the fuck? You don't know what the fairy realm's like. She's probably going to be his sex slave. Like,
Exactly.
you don't know any of that. You think, also that, I mean, it makes sense. It made sense, but eventually, but it took such a long time for it to make sense. I was like, how can this be in the fairy rules that if someone kills a fairy, then you either have to, then like either you can kill the human or you can invite the human like back to your house to be your lodger forever.
Right? It just,
Why would anyone do that? And you see, this is what I mean, that Feyre doesn't question things.
no.
Feyre wasn't like, why on earth am I here? Just like
Yeah,
living
her
it up in
critics
this
just-
rich house.
yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of thoughts in that little brain of hers.
Tamlin did take care of her family, though. That's a point for Tamlin.
Yeah, Tamlin is pretty sweet, but also he just threw money at it.
That's
which
true. Yeah. I mean, he
not
has
that
infinite
sweet.
money. It's like, it's not that much
It's
effort.
not really any skin off his nose. no.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like,
And he was clearly really lazy with the glamour because it didn't even affect
right?
Nesta.
Exactly.
So a bit sloppy. Sorry, it's not book club if I don't hate all of the characters.
We can't be Team Tamlin. It's just,
Yeah. Yeah, and also she didn't ask after her family for a long time, I feel. Like,
yeah, I think she was thinking about it, but she didn't like say
Yeah.
anything.
and
I think she just
that,
assumed that they were starving
Yeah.
to death, you know?
yeah, she's also like so proud that like she could have begged Tamlin to look after her family,
Mm-hmm.
but she's like, no, that's so embarrassing.
How embarrassing. JJ says they were all used to a life of privilege and didn't know how to cope, and they were depressed. Feyre was the only one that didn't have a privileged life, so she could adapt more quickly to poverty.
Mm.
That's a good point. That is a very good point.
True, I guess. Yeah, that is true.
Still, there's still.
Yeah, so the supposed treaty. So there is a treaty
Mhm.
between the fairies and humans, but they're lying all the time about what the treaty, like what's even in the treaty.
Yeah, where is this treaty?
I would like to see a copy of this treaty.
I know.
Because clearly the whole like fairies can't lie thing is a lie.
Right? That's and the iron. Iron's a lie.
The iron's a lie.
Wait,
And
iron is a lie. Ash is not.
Yeah.
Ash is real.
Ash is true, iron's a lie.
Hmm.
And the whole thing about like taking the fairy murderer back as your guest. Obviously it's not true.
Right. It doesn't make any sense.
So does Feyre actually not get any punishment at all for killing an innocent fairy?
No.
Or, I mean, I guess her crime is overlooked for saving the fairy kingdom. But I think that's an oversight, and I do think she should get in trouble.
I mean, in her defense, he was a wolf at the time. So it's not
True.
really her fault. Like, I think she kind of was mistaken a little bit.
Yeah, and also she doesn't like know that fairies are she doesn't know that fairies can be nice. And
Right.
she doesn't know anything about fairies. She doesn't know like that they have emotions and friends and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She thought it was like a wolf fairy.
If
it was even a fairy at all.
Right?
Yeah.
If anything, it would have to be one of those lesser fairy, and we don't care about them.
No. Oh, it's only a lesser fairy? That's fine then.
What did you think of the trials that Amarantha gave her?
Okay, so remind me of them actually. The
first one was the worm.
like worm.
Mm-hmm. Which is like basically a wingless dragon and not what you're probably picturing.
No, I was picturing like a worm, like a giant worm with a face of teeth at both ends. I'm going to keep imagining it the way I'm imagining it.
I know, that's how I imagine it. I imagine it like that giant worm in SpongeBob.
Yeah, exactly. Just a big old worm.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first one. And then the second one, what was the second one?
With Lucian and the levers. The ceiling was coming down. It was going to kill Lucian and her, and she had to pull a lever. And she's like, 2, that's like Tamlin and me. And Reese is like, no, ma'am.
Yeah. So Reese saved her life. So the first trial, I liked it. I thought it was a good beginning trial, to ease you in. And I also liked her escape. I liked the way that she solved it. I thought it was good.
I liked it too. I thought that it was exciting. We got some action there. We got to see Feyre
Yeah.
actually like do something. It showed that
Yeah.
maybe Feyre is a little more than.
Yeah, it did show some like thinking.
Mhm.
I think I've just realized that the reason why I hate her is because of my completely unfounded arrogance that I think I could do all of that so easily. Like I
What? She
genuinely
fought a
believe
worm.
it was like easy. Like give me something hard.
Well, you would have
Like,
solved the riddle, so you wouldn't have even had to do
I
the.
I was like, as soon as when she said that there was going to be a riddle, and I was like, okay, is it going to be love or death? And then she said the riddle, and I was like, okay. Clearly, Feyre's never
So
heard
clever.
of. Yeah. I also didn't know why Amarantha gave her the riddle anyway. I was like, this is an unnecessary like mercy from
Yeah,
Amarantha.
I think it was definitely some posturing. Like, this is how stupid this girl is. She banked on Feyre being that dumb.
Yeah.
And
And to
she
be fair,
was
Feyre
right.
was that dumb.
Yeah, I mean, Feyre didn't prove her wrong, until the end there. But
Yeah. The second trial with the levers was just so annoying that Feyre can't read. So yeah, and then it was just like a 1 in 3 chance, really, wasn't it?
yeah. Mhm.
So that was a bit of a boring trial, and it wasn't like dragged out very long. She didn't like suffer at all. If I was one of the evil
Right.
fairies wanting to watch this for my evening's entertainment,
You want to
I
see
would
some blood.
be, yeah, I'd be underwhelmed.
Yep. We didn't even get to see, we didn't
Uh,
see Lucian get crushed,
No, exactly. There was no one, and it was either like, either they get crushed and die or they're completely unscathed. I want them to
Mhm.
like survive, but with like some injuries.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see that. Um,
And the final challenge was the stabbing in the heart.
yes.
I like that challenge. I thought it was clever.
I liked it
I
too.
thought that Feyre was so dumb for not figuring out the Heart of Stone thing earlier.
Yeah.
And
When
also, I thought she was dumb for not listening closer to the instructions, because I was listening closely to the instructions. Because she says in the instructions that you have to stab them in the heart, and she doesn't say kill. And then as soon as she said that, I was like, "Ooh, there's gonna be a
there's
thing. You
a
can
twist.
just poke them a teeny tiny bit in the heart, but not
Right.
like a lot, and then they'll be okay."
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I don't know, like because fairies can heal. So then also I was like, why didn't she just stab like the first 2 fairies that she just killed? She
Mm-hmm.
could have just stabbed them in the heart a little bit, and then they could have
Just a
healed
little bit.
themselves. Just a little boop, and then like
Do you think Amarantha would have let her get away with it?
I mean, you'd have
Worth a
to
try,
because
right?
that was in it was in the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't
And
say
fairies
anything
aren't the
about
only
like
ones,
stabbing. It didn't say how much stabbing.
right? She
It
should
just
be
said
able
stab.
to kind of twist the rules there a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, I also wait, something else about the trials that I was gonna say. Oh, also that Feyre, because it was like, oh, you can do these 3 challenges and I'll let you free.
Mm.
Or solve this riddle and I'll let you free right now. And then Feyre was like, oh, it's kind of weird that she said she'll let me free right now if I do the riddle. I'm sure it's fine. Anyway.
I think it was more of like a, oh crap. Well, there's nothing I can do about it, so I guess I'll just keep going.
Yeah, that was it. That was it, to be
Yeah, because she did
fair.
acknowledge it. She was like, oh man, that's I
Like,
guess I'll just try anyway. Like poor Feyre.
yeah. Yeah, and I didn't like that the riddle was easier
Yeah.
than the 3 challenges, and the riddle was yeah.
Oh, this is funny. I feel sorry for Claire that died without knowing really why. Kent said that. Do you remember when she gave Claire Better's name instead of her own to Reese?
Yeah.
That was messed
Oh,
up. That's
that's horrible. That
Mhm.
was so messed up. So, oh yeah, poor Claire and Claire's family. They all got burnt alive, didn't they? Did they get burnt in their house?
I think so. Yeah, I think
they burnt the house down with all of the family inside.
Mhm.
Oof, yeah, that was brutal.
That was, yeah.
I
Poor
also
Claire.
just love Reese's like chaotic energy
I
where
know.
she was like Amarantha's like, Reese, is this dead girl not the girl that you saw at the party? And he's like, oh, guess not.
They all look the same. What's the difference?
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh, Reese.
Yeah, that must have been confusing for her. Yeah, also ASM architect. Literally everyone told her to listen to the instructions, to be careful with like don't trust anything. You know, don't accept deals with the fairies and make sure that you know what you're in for. And she just doesn't listen to anyone's advice.
Right. And I mean, I think they even told her don't drink the wine. Like she would have willingly
They
drank the
definitely
wine.
told her don't
but
drink the wine.
yeah, but it's not like
Yeah.
she was gonna willingly drink the wine, I would hope.
Yeah, she drank the wine after very little encouragement, if I remember. Like, Reese gave her the wine and she was like, oh no, Alice told me not to drink the wine. And Reese was like, go on. And she was like, no. And he was like, go on. And then she was like, oh, fine.
Oh, right.
I mean, to be fair, I think that she was being tortured and she was like, I'd rather not remember this.
Yeah.
So, fair.
Yeah.
For wanting to be intoxicated on fairy wine.
I would have too.
Yeah.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
So are you gonna read book 2?
Definitely,
You're gonna continue?
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I need to think about how I'm gonna find it. Because I don't want to buy it new because now that I know it's old, then I want to find it somewhere.
It's part of the adventure of it.
I must complete this quest.
That is so funny. I'm sure you'll be able to find it because it's so popular. Like you've got to be able to find it somewhere. For sure.
Are you gonna read the third book?
I am. I have it sitting right over there. I just haven't started it yet. I'll read it soon. This weekend I'm gonna be playing the new Zelda game because that's what I want to do, but I definitely need to start it.
Exactly. To be fair, I'm the same with the Outlander series. Have you read Outlander?
No, but I think I need to because you recommended it before.
Yeah. And it's like kind of similar. Well, I mean, it's not similar, but it's like the same. It's like, you know, it's like a fantasy, like romance, kind of historical stuff. But I have been putting off starting the next book in the series for some reason. I just don't feel ready for it.
Oh, and it's not like you don't want to read it. If it's anything like me, like I want to read that
I want
book.
to read it. I'm
just like emotionally, I'm so okay with where the books are right now that I'm worried to put myself
What it was
through
for
it.
me actually was because I think I've read 3 and then I need to read the 4th. And I felt like the 3rd was like not as good as the other 2. So I'm worried that the 4th is going to be even worse. I'm worried that it's like going downhill.
That's happened to me.
But it sounds like you're in the But it sounds like you're in the opposite problem.
I think based on the comments, thank you, JJ. JJ says it's very good and I need to start it. So okay. I need to not worry. And then I heard the 4th one's kind of like just a novella about Christmas or something. It's not a real book, but the 5th one is supposed to be really good. So I think
good.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Good.
So what's next month?
Next month is an LGBTQ, an author from the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
Oh wait, we haven't done a poll with ratings yet.
Oh, that's right. I want to know what people will rate it.
Yeah, and I actually have a few ideas for next month.
Oh, that's great. I didn't have any. We'll read whatever you want to read.
Great. Well, I wanted to read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
By Ocean Vuong, Buong. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. But my flatmate has it, so I can borrow it. So that would be ideal.
We can read that. I'm down.
Yeah, or I had a few other ideas. I also wanted to read The Miseducation of Cameron Post. I've seen that it's on it's made into a film, I think. But it's based on a book. Or Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit.
Are these all LGBTQ? Or are
Yes.
these in general? The On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous sounds really good and really sad.
Yeah, it is meant to be sad.
But it sounds really
Shall
good.
we do that one? Because I've got it in my possession already.
Let's do that one. That one sounds really good.
Okay, great. I did read another book last month, which where is it? I thought that I had it on my I do have it on my bookshelf. Which is an LGBTQ book. But it's called Young Mungo, and I would recommend by Douglas Stewart. But I feel like I don't want to recommend it for book club because it needs a big trigger warning, and I don't want to put any people in a situation that's gonna upset them.
Gotcha.
That
does sound good, though.
If you are prepared to be emotionally destroyed, then I'd recommend this book.
I've added it to my list. I'm ready for the devastation.
Yeah. I've read 2 books. I read both of this author. This is his second book, and I've read both of them. I read both of them this year, actually. I read the other one in January, and they're both so heartbreaking. But excellent.
Have you read and I don't think it's, well, the characters are, I don't know if the author is A Little Life.
Oh, I haven't
read it, people, but everybody's heard of it.
Yeah, and because people have also like compared this book to that book.
That's as soon as you started talking, I was like, this, yeah. And I saw, as I was looking at the synopsis, I was like, shades of A Little Life, because I did start reading that, but I gave up because it was so long and so depressing.
Yeah, that's why I think I've been put off reading it, because it's really long.
Yeah.
And at the moment I think I need something a bit more lighthearted. Well, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is meant to be sad as well.
That's okay. I'm totally down for it.
It's quite short actually.
I think the off-putting thing for me about A Little Life is that it was just constant like misery on misery on misery, and it was long, and it was just overly detailed writing for me. It was hard to read. Not graphic.
I heard some people say that it's kind of like trauma porn. I've heard.
Yeah, I thought so. I didn't finish it, but it's kind of what I thought. Yeah.
But I'll consider it. I'll maybe give it a peruse.
I don't know. I just brought it up because I keep seeing it on Book Talk. So it's like, it seems like the trauma book everybody reads.
Yeah. Well, my flatmate and I will be doing a book swap now, because she's just read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. And then I lent her this one, Young Mungo. And then now she's reading A Little Life. So she's really in the like sad gay genre at the moment.
Oh my God. Right. Song of Achilles, man. I sobbed and sobbed after finishing Song of Achilles. So that's just another good, sad gay romance.
Yeah. It's subgenre.
JH has a great question in the chat about Court of Thorns and Roses. What do you think Rhysand saw when he looked at Feyre at the end of the book? You know how he looked at her and he got that look and then he just disappeared? What do you think that was about? I can't answer it, but I want to hear.
So intriguing. So intriguing. So one of my theories was that like Feyre and her family have some kind of like fairy ancestry, and that's why Nesta was immune to the glamour thing.
I think there's gotta be something special about the Archerons, the
Yeah,
girls, because there's
yeah, exactly. And like you said as well about Elaine being like everyone loving Elaine, like that
it's
seems
weird.
that yeah, like that feels like
Yeah,
magical.
it
So I
does.
thought that it could be something like that he like got a glimpse of something. Um And I also thought that maybe he just had like he just saw the future for a second. Like he had like a
Mhm.
"That's so Raven" moment and was like, whoa. Um yeah.
I kind
So
of
yeah.
thought he was like, and I won't be specific, but for some reason, like as soon as he did, I was like, did he just get like a message from the night court about something crazy going on?
Mm,
So I
yeah.
don't,
Some telepathic things.
right? But um, you made me think of something. Did you ever read Graceling or any books in the Graceling series? It's young adult.
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
okay. So
It rings a bell.
there's a character in the series who has a power. I'm not going to tell you who it is in case you ever decide to read it. Um, there's a power where basically anything you say to somebody, they'll think it's true. Anything you say.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just I thought of Elaine and I'm like, what if that's
Yeah.
like her power? Like
Yeah.
everyone thinks she's sweet because she like wants them to, you know?
Yeah, or like I think it is part of the like Twilight canon that
Mm.
Esme's like power is just that she puts everyone at ease
Oh, I didn't
and
know
everyone feels
that.
at ease around her and everyone feels like
Yeah.
comfortable
That
around her.
it could be less, it could be more like that, like less insidious. For me, it's like this is
Yeah.
a very evil thing.
Yeah. It
I
could
think
be
you're
I
probably
completely
right.
like that she doesn't know about it
Right.
and like completely unintentional and like she's ignorant to it,
I think you're
which I
right.
think could be.
I think that makes a lot of sense why everyone's like, but Elaine. It's because Elaine has this like
Yeah.
power to soothe
I
and
Yeah, because it does not make sense for Nesta especially to love Elaine more
so
than
much.
anyone
Yeah.
else doesn't make any sense.
And to even protect Elaine over herself. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
hmm,
Because Nesta hates her dad and hates Feyre for no reason.
yep.
Why would she like Elaine? So yeah, that's gonna be
Right.
my theory that the girlies have special powers
I think so.
and like I think that it comes from them being like part fairy deep down the line. Although that probably wouldn't work with breaking Tamlin's curse. But if she's
Yeah,
mainly
I mean,
human, she's
she's
just got
human.
like a great granddad.
Right, because she's not immortal. Well, she wasn't. So she was human.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
even if she had a little bit of fairy ancestry, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I also didn't like that she became High
I
Fae.
love it. I loved it because that was my main worry. I'm like, well, she's still gonna age, and like Tamlin or whoever she ends up with
Yeah.
isn't. And like, this is stressful to
Well,
me.
I thought that no one ages in the fairyland. So whether you're human or
Oh,
not, in the human land, everyone ages. And that's why the fairies don't go there. And then the fairyland, no one ages. So Feyre would still be immortal, but she would still be human.
hmm.
That was just
Yeah,
that was just what I invented for myself.
that makes sense
Um,
though.
yeah, but I was like, why can't she be a lesser fairy?
Right?
Why does she
Just to
have to
be
be high
high
fae?
fae.
She has to be so special. And
Yeah.
why would all of the fairies do? Okay, I know that the fairies done that because because she saved the kingdom, but
Mm.
they hate humans and they think humans are dumb. Like,
I think it might have been more for Tamlin, I wonder.
yeah, but why does everyone else like Tamlin?
I think it's because he like withstood for 50 years and saved them
Yeah, but now
by
he's
finding Feyre.
sitting next to her on a throne, like with a collar around his neck.
Gross. So weak. Weak. Reese would never. Reese isn't weak.
Reese would never. Uh,
So we have 6 votes for the what would you rate the book? We have 3 5s and 3 4s. So overall, we liked
oh
the book. Everybody
wow,
liked the book. Yay.
that's exciting.
Did you vote, Eliza?
I did, yeah.
What did you give it? A 4?
I gave it 4 stars.
I think I'll accept it. This is a solid 5 for me.
Yeah, I gave it, yeah, I gave it a 4 because, like, enjoyment wise, yeah, like it was up there, but the things that annoyed me about the plot
Definitely.
and the writing.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
I went into it thinking it was going to be kind of garbage. Because like everybody's like, oh my God, it's so good. But it's also, I feel like given the impression of like trash romance.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be like, I didn't think it was going to be as good as I thought it
Yeah.
was.
I
That makes
also
sense.
I thought it was going to be a lot more smutty than it was. And I
Right?
was actually disappointed with the lack of fairy smut.
I know.
I
No
was like I
fairy
was like
smut.
halfway through the book and I was like, when is this sexy fairy
There's more
stuff gonna
smut.
happen?
There's more smut to come. In book
Okay.
2, there's a little bit, but
Okay.
actually it's not like I thought it was like a spicy book when I
Huh.
first picked them up. They're not.
No, they're
There's
not at
some
all.
scenes, but it's not like that really.
Yeah. I'll get over it.
Um,
I'll have to read some fanfic.
ASM Architect says they read Throne of Glass, so you have high standards. I'm actually curious, like, did you like, you haven't read anything else by Sarah J. Maas, have you?
No.
I want to read Throne of Glass, and I want to start Crescent City too, or whatever the first one in that is. Maybe it is Crescent City.
Oh. I like the little map that they have at the front.
Tony
Oh.
at the beach says, smut, I'm waiting for the movie. I'm waiting for the show. I can't wait.
I'm a bit confused by the map
Let me
because
see. I think I have one.
the map looks like a map of the United Kingdom.
Oh, it is. I think it's very much United Kingdom
But
based.
but like, why is where's there's the wall. But then I'm a bit confused. Oh, okay, there's Highburn. Why is the Oh, never mind. Sorry. Wow, the Mortal Lands. Is that all of the Mortal Lands? Oh, these are also Mortal Lands. Sorry, you guys are watching me learn to read in real time.
I'm
So,
looking at it too, and I'm having the
I
same
understand.
exact.
Okay, so the humans only have this tiny little bit like in the bottom of like Cornwall. For the humans. Oh, and then when she's talking about like that they should go south and like get on a boat, then they're talking about going there. But then it looks like there's also a wall just over there. Where's the rest of the world?
I don't
Go further south.
Yeah, I'm a little confused.
And what? So all of the. Sorry, this is so boring for people who aren't looking at the map.
I'll hold it.
But
Yeah, I can hold it up.
All of the courts are like in the UK. And then the fairy realms are in the rest of Europe. But what is in the rest of the fairy realms?
Yeah, that's a good point because it's never
there.
been mentioned. All we've heard about is Prithian and Highburn. We haven't heard about the other fairy realms.
Yeah,
Right?
interesting. I guess it's not important because only the lesser fairies live there.
Or maybe because I think her series are a little bit interconnected, so maybe it's part of.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And Highburn is like at war with Prithian. No, not at war with Prithian, but like they're different realms. They're different countries.
Yeah, I think yeah. And then
Okay.
Highburn has the king of Highburn. And
oh, see, this map isn't how I pictured it at all. But that's on me for not looking at the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like then they've organized the whole when they were dividing up the land between the mortal lands and the fairy realms. Why would they do it like this? Why wouldn't they give the whole of the UK to the fairies
yeah,
instead of leaving this like teeny tiny strip? And then why wouldn't they just like have another continent to themselves?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make a lot
Especially
of
the
sense.
ones that like they're afraid of fairies. They're so afraid of fairies, yet they're living on this
Go
sliver.
anywhere else.
Right.
Go
Like
anywhere
move.
else. Let the fairies have that.
I don't get it.
I like how Feyre's village is on the map. That's cute.
I know, it's cute. Summer court, autumn court.
Summer court looks hilly.
Oops, got the mic.
Okay.
Yeah, this isn't really the layout that I thought it would be. The night court's big.
Yeah, and it's so far away from the spring court.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love this. I also it's a bad map because the lines are too like linear, which isn't like how things actually work.
Right.
Like I don't believe that the courts would divide themselves up neatly like this.
Now it's weird.
And then under the mountain is its own place. It's not part of any of the courts, which I know is true now, but has that always been true? Why is under the mountain like a lawless place where no court rules?
I think it has to do with the cauldron. And there's something sacred about it. I don't know. I think because remember the map she was looking at and it had a cauldron there.
Yeah. By the cauldron. Cauldron B.
Cauldron, boil me.
Boil me, cauldron.
I'm excited. That was fun. I like the book.
I'm looking forward to the next one. I'll tell you my thoughts and feelings.
And then for next month, we have I just added it to my list.
Yes, so we are okay with doing that one on Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
Yes, on Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
Lovely. We can make a little post. And let me get a calendar up. So 4 weeks from today would be the 9th of June.
I could do the 9th.
Me too.
Okay.
I can't think of any reason why not. I'm gonna make an event.
9th of June on Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous.
Oh, can we just say how I finished this book a week ago?
That's a big deal.
That is such a big deal.
Why did you decide to start it early?
Well, it's because I went on holiday. And so I went on holiday, and this is so not like me, but I missed my flight.
That sounds exactly like you.
Honestly, it's not. Honestly, it's not. Like, I'm someone who's like 4 hours early to the airport. Like, and I just well, it's because I've got like problems with my ears and I can't hear very well, and so I didn't hear my alarm, and so I slept through my alarm. And usually I have like my Fitbit alarm and my phone alarm and then my alarm clock alarm. But then there's like the alarm clock, like we flipped a switch in our house and then the alarm clock went out, and then and my Fitbit wasn't charged. So I missed my flight. Anyway, so then I was at the airport and it was buy two, get one free. So and they had a Court of Thorn and Roses and Young Mungo. So I bought bought both of the I know. And so because I missed my flight, then I had to like fly, instead of flying direct, then I had to fly somewhere else and then wait at the airport for like 7 hours. So I bought the books in the airport and I read them while I was waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry though. That's awful.
Yeah. It was so stressful.
No kidding.
I felt very silly, but it meant that I read all the book club books in advance. So, and it was pretty cheap. I got these 2 books for £8.
That's really good.
And this is a new book. Like, this book is out this year.
Oh my gosh, that's actually a really good deal.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Airport books. Everything else is really expensive, but the books are cheap, apparently.
That is funny. I love it. I'm sorry you missed your flight, though. That's happened to me. It happened to me one time, and it was the worst. It was horrible.
Yeah, no, it's never happened to me before. So I was meant to get up so my flight was at 7:00 in the morning. And so I slept through my alarm, and then I woke up like naturally at 6:00. And it was meant to, like, it would usually take me like 45 minutes to get to the airport, but I like ran, I got a taxi, I sprinted through the airport, and I was like through security within like half an hour of waking up. And then I still, and it had already left. Like the gates had already closed, and it left early. It left 20 minutes early. I know. Like the one time in my life that a flight is early is the flight that I'm not
leave
there.
early. That's crazy.
No. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is the worst luck, man.
But I got some books out of it at least.
Yeah,
So.
I can just feel that though. Like that would have really crushed me, especially with
it crushed me because I thought that I had made it. Yes. I was like, oh, I've made it. I've done it.
And the amount of stress just to get there.
The adrenaline. I was like still in my pajamas. I was wearing the clothes that I wore to sleep in.
Oh my God. That's awful.
Yeah.
That is awful, ma'am. Oh. So Kent asks, what are we doing for June? We're doing On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous on June 9th, same time.
June 9th. Yes.
June 9th. It is right. Okay.
Yep. And it's a book by someone from the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, that's the theme. Oh. Any sort of final thoughts? I guess I'll pose the question for anybody in the chat as well. Any?
No final thoughts from me. Just thanks for recommending it. I enjoyed it.
Well, it sounds like you really enjoyed it.
I did. You know me. I have to complain about books that I love.
I do the same. And normally, I think if I hadn't read book 2, I would have been picking Feyre apart.
Yeah.
I ended up really liking her, I think. So I'm like,
okay, cool.
It makes sense.
Good. Okay. Good. I'm looking forward to feeling good about Feyre.
I'm excited to see what you think when you read book 2, when you happen to find it.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll
you
acquire
another airport deal.
Yeah, I might have to. Nice. I was looking to see any other questions or comments. Sorry, I'm looking at this comment that JH says we need a map reading ASMR, except the map reading ASMR will be me being like, will be me not knowing how to read a map. Right. Like, what is this? It says mortal lands.
It's a confusing map. In your defense, I have trouble with it too because it splits it weird, and it's not.
It's a silly map. It's the world is badly organized.
Right, because you don't see that it's part of a bigger world.
Lands. Yeah, and because Prithian is written so big and Mortal Lands is written so small. Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah.
So is Sarah J. Maas British?
That is a good question because I didn't think so, but
it says, yeah, because in my head I have been giving them all American accents. It says a New York native, Sarah currently lives in Pennsylvania with her husband, son, and dog.
See,
she just set it in the UK because everyone knows that the UK is magical.
Right? It's where all fantasy takes place. All fantasy, you have to have a British accent.
Isn't that so true?
You have to. And I guarantee they will in Hulu because nobody wants a fantasy with American accents.
Yeah, I love when there's like a fantasy thing and everyone's got like random different British accents.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh yeah, like if there's like farmers or something, then they'll be like Northern or Irish or something.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and the royalty will of course have
always
like posh English accents.
I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense-ish, but would they have that in the fantasy? I don't know. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to next month.
Yes. I don't see anything else. Post-Brexit Prithian, that's funny. Hopefully they have good British accents. So yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I had a great time, Eliza. Thank you so much for
Me
hanging
too.
out with me. I enjoyed the book immensely.
Me too. I feel like I've mainly just ranted today, and I feel like I haven't let you speak about anything. How did you find the book?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Good.
I really wanted you to read it because I wanted to get your opinion and I wanted to talk about it with book club. So
Okay.
this was perfect for me.
Good.
Yeah. So we'll
Thank you for having me, as always.
And we'll see each other next month on the 9th. I'll text you between then if I see anything funny.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. I hope we all had a good time. We'll see you June 9th for our next installment of book club.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess bye. I hate ending things. It's always so awkward.
I hate ending things. Ending videos is so awkward. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
Then
I know.
Bye.
See, I tend to go the opposite. I go too long.
Oh no, see, I want to like end it like a phone call, and I always say like, okay, speak to you later. Bye.
That's
speak
fine.
to you soon. Love
Okay,
you.
bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
I hope no one watches the end of my videos. I hope people are asleep by then.
Right.
Or have clicked away.
I know. I see my retention. I know not everybody stays. Oh, sad times. I don't even like to look at the stats. Oh, I need to delete the YouTube app. I need to. Well, I haven't made a video in forever, but I need to delete the studio app so I can stop looking at stats whenever I have a new video because it just makes me sad.
Yeah. Having the app on my phone is so distracting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we'll end it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Bye, Eliza.
Love you. Bye. Speak to you soon.